All right, guys, we're going to get started with the last session of the day. And I'm really, really pleased to introduce to the stage Sergio. He's been a partner of ours representing Ricordati for multiple years now, and it's just been so wonderful to work with. He's always thinking about how to help patients more, how to reach more patients, how to educate, how to improve diagnosis, and it's just been such a pleasure to work with. So, Sergio, I'm thrilled to bring you on stage to then introduce the video.
I appreciate it. Thanks, Dave.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you.
Oh, sorry, I should also mention, Sergio accepted the Castleman Warrior Community Member of the Year Award on behalf of Ricordati just a couple months ago. So
Appreciate it. Thank you, everyone. Thanks a lot, David. This is the group I think I'm most nervous in front of. I don't know for whatever reason. He's got the greatest impact. Dave, there's something that you said earlier that really resonated with me, that I think it was through the TED Talk, that hope is good, but hope in action is much better. You have to have action. I'm a big proponent of hope, and when I look around this room, all I see is hope, and I see hope in action. And so I want to congratulate you all for what you do, for making it all the way down from wherever you're from down to Philly for the next few days, and I hope you walk away with something bigger than yourself, and that's what I'm walking away with today. So I have a few words. They're going to be a little formal, but again, my name is Sergio Cuello. I'm the head of marketing for oncology at Recordati Rare Diseases. Sylvant is our baby. As many of you know, Sylvant's been on the market for about 12 years now. I've been working with Sylvant for the last 2.5 years, almost 3 years, and with the CDCN almost for the full 3 years that I've been here. This is my second patient summit, and I plan on coming back as long as you have them. So we're also excited that there's some great news. I'm sure that'll be coming out for next year as far as additional support that we might be able to provide the CDCN. So just a few words. I can't see, so I'm going to take off my glasses and look at my cell phone, which is the first time I've written a speech on my cell phone. So, all right. So I want to extend our heartfelt thanks to the CDCN for all they do, for patients and families impacted by Castleman's disease. Your tireless work, dedication, and partnership mean so much, not only to me, but the patients, and we value our aligned mission to improve the lives of those affected by this rare condition. We want to also recognize and thank the patients, all of you out there who have attended the Patient Summit. Your courage, your stories, and advocacy inspire us all. A special thanks to Avion, we'll talk about in a second, and his family for allowing us to share his story and celebrate his journey as he manages life with IMCD. Your strength and openness help bring awareness and hope to so many. So congratulations. And one last thank you. Thank you, everybody. Yeah, let's give a round of applause. And one last person that often remains unnoticed, but she really does a lot to support you all behind the scenes and us at Recordati. But we're also deeply grateful to Reba Oslander and her PR agency for helping bring this story to life. Her passion for patients and her gift for telling meaningful stories are truly inspiring. So thank you for everything you do, Reba. And with that, if we can go ahead and share this wonderful story. Oh, is it me? Moving slides? Oops. Green button. Hold on 1 second. No, it wasn't me.
For Avion to come in and as a freshman, I think he was a very accomplished student, not just a good freshman athlete here at Blaine. He was one of our best athletes. I still remember when he came back to school and being in a wheelchair and just trying to function. And for somebody who's 15 years old and having to experience life that way, I don't know how mentally and emotionally a kid can manage that.
Seeing him not be able to do those things that we always could do, and like even simple tasks like walk by himself, it was very challenging for me. I remember looking it up and just looking at it for myself and seeing how rare it was, and it definitely scared me.
Seeing my mom's face when we saw him too was kind of scary.
And I think that Avion today is definitely not the Avion I knew before this sickness, because it made him stronger, it made him more passionate, and I think it just opened his eyes about a lot of things.
I would say freshman year, when I first got sick, just
everything just kind of felt like it was going downhill from there.
We have an O&D camp in the summer. I first became aware of Avion's struggles. It was the summer before his sophomore year.
It was also at that same, O&D camp that I noticed him, visibly, you could tell he wasn't feeling well.
Well, he called me when he was in Chicago. He said, Grandma, my stomach hurts so bad. I said, well, tell your coach, see if they can give you something.
Yeah, it just went from, knowing that he wasn't feeling well to just a million questions.
So he came home the next week and the coach brought him in and he was like, you need to take this boy to the hospital. He is sick. So that's when I took him to Minneapolis and they said that he had something with his appendix.
After I got the appendix surgery, my mom said she kind of seen there was still leakage, and then they had to re-stitch me up. And when I got home, my stomach was hurting really bad. I ended up calling one of my friend's mom, and she's a nurse, so I knew she would know what to do. She took me to her car and rushed me to the U of M hospital, and she's like, this is the best hospital around. And from there, that's how everything started.
Did emergency surgery to his stomach, and they came back and they was like, all his stomach layers are leaking, we don't know what's wrong. So they was like, we're gonna keep him in the ICU and we're gonna see what's going on. And when they took his vitals, that's when they saw everything was whacked out. His whole body is on fire.
So we started him on medications that are good to cool someone down. I say cool because it's a hyperinflammatory syndrome. We consider them hot. We want to cool them down. He had all this fluid in his belly, which a lot of patients who are diagnosed with idiopathic multicentric Castleman's will end up having. And he did have some enlarged lymph nodes that did not show a clear oncologic process. So this wasn't leukemia, it wasn't lymphoma. He started having worsening kidney function as well. And so we had gotten a kidney biopsy on him. And that kidney biopsy was sort of strangely inconclusive. And there were some other clues that just didn't quite sit right with me. And one was how debilitated he was coming out of the ICU.
Couldn't really move anything, couldn't eat by myself. I just always felt tired and just didn't really leave the bed.
I actually had to phone a friend outside of the institution, and I made up a PowerPoint about Avion. I made up everything about his presentation, his myositis, his weird platelets, the kidney biopsy, and immediately he goes, have you thought about Tafro? And I said, what's Tafro? And then, he goes into, the diagnostic criteria for it. And I mean, we were checking boxes really fast.
A different doctor came and he thinks it's this Castleman's disease. And he's like, he's pretty sure that this is what it is.
He was admitted at the end of July, early August.
He was in the hospital for a long time. Figuring out, when is he going to be out? Is he going to be out? Is he going to be able to come back to school?
I'm a guy that likes to keep A's and B's. I didn't want to fall behind. And I knew you could fall behind easily in math.
It took us until mid-October to get a final diagnosis of idiopathic multicentric Castleman's Tafro subtype.
Once they figure that out, they're like, we're gonna contact everyone we know and figure out what can help you. I really felt the drive come back to me, and I was more motivated to get up, get out of bed, getting back on my feet. And I finally left the hospital. It just felt great.
I've never seen a patient before or after him in my practice with this disease.
By the time I got back to school, I was already finished with math.
He went from being somebody who needed the support, and now as he's a senior, I watch him supporting other people, which is pretty cool. So he's now, he's a student leader and somebody who our kids look up to.
For next year, my plans are to go to Concordia St. Paul here in Minnesota. I want to kind of open up a gym or something for students that are like me, young athletes that maybe have a setback where they can just come and we can get them back on track. I feel like my family helped me the most. My mom was there by my side every day, every night, and my friends that came and visited every day. My biggest supporter was definitely my coach Boos from my freshman year. He texted me every day and he would check on me. And Mr. Zinzelmeyer, one of my favorite coaches, that was the guy I feel like I can always talk to about any problem I had.
One of the things that we talk about as a coaching staff, it's one of my favorite things, is being heroic, being a hero. And that doesn't mean making the good play at the end of the game. It means giving yourself to something bigger than yourself. And Avion has always done that.
Avion leads when no one's looking. He does his best when no one's looking. He holds himself accountable. He stays driven when no one's looking too. And I think that's one of the things that I can admire about him is his will, even when no one's looking.
Winning just feels the same as everything else. When I win and I lose, It's just like, next game, there's more.
So awesome. I heard about this amazing video, and of course, Avion, love spending time with these last couple summits, and just so happy to see you doing so well. And your mom, you were just amazing. We all need an amazing mom like you. You're incredible. Thank you for all you guys do. So this next part of our closing, before we get to our Castleman Warrior Awards, wanted to circle back. I told you guys at the beginning that I would be thinking about Paul a lot today, our dear friend Paul Robbins, who passed in February. And we did want to just take a moment again to remember Paul. Paul was here at the summit last year. This is him just last year in the top left, flexing with one of his sons. I was just texting with his son Dave last night. They're obviously missing Paul like we all are, but they were sending all their love and hugs to you guys today. Paul, I learned so much from him. Paul was an amazing entrepreneur, started a bunch of companies in his life, and he cared so much about his family and the people around him. Once you met Paul, like, you were part of Paul's family. And I just feel so fortunate that I got the chance to get to know Paul over the last few years. I wish it wasn't because of Castleman disease. But I'm so thankful for him, all the things that I learned from him. I'm thankful that we were able to try a number of different medicines for him, a few of which worked and really transformed his care. And Paul, and he would share this if he was here, he responded really, really well to the last drug that we tried for him. We tried a lot of medicines for him. We tried one last one, responded really well. And he got him out of the hospital, but Paul, he called me one day and he said, David, I can't handle the side effects. And I was like, well, what do you mean, Paul? And he said, well, I know this medicine got me out of the hospital, but I feel horrible. Like, I'd rather be back in the hospital rather than deal with all the side effects of this medicine. And so he decided to stop taking the medicine, and then he relapsed off that medicine. And I was like, reaching out to him, and we were talking and trying to figure out new medicines. And I was like, well, why don't we try this, or why don't we try that? And he said, David, I want to spend time with my boys. And so he's got 3 older sons. He wanted to spend time with them. And he passed away on February 1st. And it was heartbreaking for me for a million reasons. You can also tell in part probably from just hearing what Sergio said about, all we want to do is turn our hope into action. And so I was like, Paul, let me try one more thing. Like, I want to try this one drug. And he said, David, I feel horrible from the medicines that I'm on, but I don't want any more. And so important lesson for me, but we're going to keep fighting and keep thinking about Paul and working for everyone who's in this room. So I just wanted to take a little bit extra time to think about Paul. So one last thing I'll say, and then I do want us to actually, do a little, I don't think clapping's even there. I don't know what I want. I want us to send something up for Paul. One of the last things he did for us was he bought a bell that was that he wanted to put in our office. And I don't know if you know the story of this, but he got this really cool bell, and it says, like, to the Castleman's Warriors, like, we'll ring this bell when we cure Castleman disease. But he didn't say who it was from. So for like weeks, like, me and Madison and Malever are like, who sent this gift? And I think we probably thanked some people who we thought it was from who didn't actually send it. And they're like, sure, you're welcome for the bell. I don't really know what the bell is, but sure, you're welcome. But he eventually told us that he was the one who sent it. And so I don't think it feels right to cheer for him, but I think what we can do is we can commit that we'll keep working as hard as we can. And one of these days we're going to ring this bell because we will have cured Castleman disease. And Paul told me that he's listening out for it. So that's all I can say before I get too emotional today about Paul. But we do want to transition now to the Community Member of the Year Warrior Award. I mentioned earlier that we gave the Community Member of the Year Award to Ricordati. Sergio accepted it on behalf of them and his team. They've been just such great partners. And then we have two more Castleman Warrior Awards to give out. And I know there's a lot of suspense and there's a lot of excitement about who is going to be this year's award winner. But before we go through this year's award winners, everyone who's won one of these Castleman Warrior Awards in the past, would you please stand up just so we can recognize each of you? We got a good turnout here today, I think. And please join me in cheering for them. Stacy and Gary and Aleva. Our superstars are in the front row, of course. Nice. Well, so this award for the loved one of the year goes to someone who I've known really well for many years and I absolutely adore, and I just learned his actual name today. You know, I'd be like, how could you know someone for all these years and just learn his name today? And the reason is that his name is actually, I thought it was his nickname. So so I've been calling him Rock for all these years because I thought that was his nickname, but his name is actually David Rock. And so I was like, who is David Rock? But I can tell you who David Rock is. Woo! Let me tell you a little bit about David Rock. I'll make you blush a little bit before next slide. Other than me not realizing that Rock was not your nickname, I thought it was because you worked out a lot and we called you Rock. I mean, that's like he looks like a rock. He's a rock. Beyond that, David has been so supportive. I'm learning this is his name. Rock. Rock has been so amazing in supporting Penny on her journey. Penny has gone through so many ups and downs, and you've literally just been that rock. Like, you just never leave her side. You've just been so amazing. You've been to everything. You've been there for so many of us, not just Penny. And like, I can't think of a time I've been to a Castleman's event where I haven't seen the two of you there, and you got the biggest smile. You're cheering everyone on. You guys are just like, you are the epitome of a Castleman warrior, and you don't even have Castleman disease, and you're like the ultimate Castleman warrior. So, Brock, this is for you.